Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Marshall Islands is it's in the middle of the Pacific, North Pacific Ocean. It's in between Honolulu and Guam and Australia and New Zealand, way down there. Rongelapese people are victims of United States nuclear testing bombs. And back in 1946 until 1948, United States had they detonated a total of 67 atomic and hydrogen bombs. And the people that I represent are from Rongelap Atoll, and they're 100 miles away from one of the ground zero, which is Bikini Atoll. They were affected by nuclear fallout from this bomb that was 1,000 times greater than Hiroshima bombings, and it was detonated on March 1st, 1954. At the time, there were 87 people, but there were 4 women that were pregnant, and so there were 83 people, but our numbers is 87 because 4 of them were pregnant at the time. And so people, Rongelapese people were known as the only people in the Marshall Islands, or one of the 4 atoll that was affected by the radiation. But today, due to National Cancer Institute report, which was out in 2004, there were actually the whole Marshall Islands was affected by radiation, because not only the 4 atoll, Bikini, Eniwetak, Utaruk, and Rongelap atoll has high rate of cancer, but the whole Marshall Islands. And so United States is our friend, or big brother, so somewhat, and our funds comes from them 90%, since we have this compact of free association relationship with them, and they were supposed to take care of our medical problems and economical problem in the Marshall Islands, but they have given us so less money that we cannot keep up with the medical bills. And so we have bring our case to our friends all over the world, including our neighbor in the Pacific Islands, to help in any way they can, but also more importantly to tell the world of our experience, what has been done to us, that it should not be repeated, especially in this day and age where I see more and more countries want to possess and have nuclear bombs as a method for peace, which I and people of Rongelap and the whole Marshall Islands believe that is not the best solution. It shouldn't be a solution to bring peace in the world, because what has happened to us. And so being the Pacific Island, and to have New Zealand to be the first to declare a nuclear free zone was sort of like a big step forward towards obtaining the peace in the world. So also New Zealand is really a very good example in which all the other countries, big countries in the world, can follow and take the step that they have taken.
Well, I
come from a different hemisphere, on the other side of the planet from where Abacca lives. And we met at the World Peace Forum a couple of years ago. And I don't know how you happened to find your way there at that time, but I know that I was there largely because of my involvement by then with the Parliamentary Network for Nuclear Disarmament. And it's well known to lots of people that Doug Roach, Canadian politician who then became the first ambassador for disarmament representing Canada at the United Nations, came back to Canada, entered the Canadian Senate, and really became extremely involved in encouraging many people like ourselves to become active around the issue of the threat of nuclear weapons to the future of the planet and the future of humanity, but in putting it in more positive terms, came together to try to build the political will to create a nuclear weapons-free world. And so I became involved initially with PNND, became the chair of the Canadian chapter of PNND, and then we had a first meeting, a founding meeting of the Global Council for PNND at the World Peace Forum in Vancouver in 2006, I guess. At that time, I don't think any of us were thinking about maybe Doug Roach should move over and make way for the women of the world. And I think it was actually his brainchild, as was PNND in the first place, very much his inspiration. But it seemed a natural evolution in a way when he stepped down from being the president of the Global Council of PNND for the leadership torch to pass to women, and largely because of the experience of Abacca, that, you know, I think men and women, for sure, around the world, all care about future generations. But I think women who bear children, raise children, and then fall in love with grandchildren. I now have 6 grandchildren from ages 1 to 6.
Grandchildren, 6 of them. God save us! I wish you'd stop skiting.
But I see the world more and more through their eyes, I have to say, and it's unthinkable for any of us to be a party just by silence. We become complicit in a nuclear weapon threatened world.
Well, we're interesting because we're oddities, aren't we? I mean, we are women in politics. We are a minority.
I don't think we're odd, at least.
No, but in terms of statistics, no, I don't think, well, we speak for yourself. but so that actually says something about us, actually, is that we have toiled on a number of issues, you know, whatever the issues are as we've grown up, social justice in our own countries, unemployment, health for women, education, all those different issues that we've grown up with. This unifies us. I mean, one of the things about disarmament is that it's pretty simple. You just get rid of the weapons. It's not like climate change. You don't need scientists arguing for Africa, do you, to work out what are the solutions. You don't need to debate whether a biofuel is sustainable or not. You just have to get rid of the weapons. That's all it is. It's dead simple. And I think that's the attraction that the men in the Parliamentary Network have liked, is that we are very practical people. We step our way through. We've stepped our way through a number of issues. What I love about this particular network is that, and this particular grouping of women, is that we come from so many different backgrounds, and yet we are united.
Yes.
We come out of, we've been living in a flat together for the last 4 days. 2 days. 2 days. Seems like 4 days.
Yeah. I had enough.
Yeah. and there we come from all those different backgrounds and can live and work together, united by something that we care about. We're women, MPs. We want a socially just world. We want a peaceful world. And it's fairly straightforward. It is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the same story with me. When I began my political work in the early 80s, it was for women's rights and equality, and for peace and abolition of nuclear weapons. And I was part of the peace movement in Germany when Pershing and cruise missile were debated And I'm a social democrat, and my party was for stationing of these weapons, and I fought against them, and we won. And I think it was women, but also, of course, most of our colleagues who joined us in this. And then I've been working in Parliament since 1990 on these issues because it was my motivation to go to the German Parliament and work on these issues there. Security in a broader sense, and I think one of the main issues, of course, always has been abolition of nuclear weapons. And I think right now it's so important that we take a new momentum because the world is in a really bad shape, and we have to make the leaders of the world realize that nuclear weapons are not applicable in the world.
No.
And so they have to go away, and that's why I'm glad I could join PNND and PNND women presidents and work together, and I really enjoy it that we can do something here. But the most important thing is when we come home that we organize a new movement to join us, to make political pressure, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
I want some young women to step up.
Yes, right.
Absolutely.
Right. Would be
Actually,
good.
that's why Mary and I aren't going to go on being elected politicians
No.
for too much longer. We've decided to pass.
Well,
the
I'll
torch
run
to
again.
next
I'll run
generation.
again.
That's because you're not as old as we are.
Okay.
Do you know, for me, it's doubly thrilling, really, that we're here in Pugwash.
Oh,
I
it's
grew up
beautiful.
knowing through my family about Pugwash. My father was a huge devotee of the Pugwash movement and one of the founders of Veterans Against Nuclear Arms. And it's thrilling for Pugwash to be a partner in what is a global
Absolutely.
movement now, and 51 years after it was founded, the Pugwash movement, it's not just alive and well, it's growing and expanding, and I think beginning to have real impact worldwide.
Very privileged to be here, actually.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Okay.